Hello and welcome back to Little Drops of Wonderful. This is my channel where I talk about all things crochet and knitting and all the other crafts that I get stuck into. I'm just looking down at the pile of stuff I have to talk to you about here. This month we're going to have a good long sit down podcast proper where we sit down and just chat through everything. I did put a little poll up on my channel a couple of weeks ago to say what kind of video do you prefer? Do you prefer the month-long vlog style wrap-ups or the sit-down podcast proper? And most of you put that you didn't mind, you liked either, although out of the two, the vlog style was slightly in the lead. I'm putting a screenshot of it up on the screen as I'm talking, so that was quite interesting. So I think what we'll do is we'll just fit it in as it fits in as we go through the year. So this month it made more sense to save it up and do it as a vlog style wrap up, and then for May, I'm not sure. I'm doing May vlogs over on my other channel, so whether I'll film alongside that with what I'm doing throughout the month or just do a sit down video at the end, I'm not sure. I suspect if I tried to film a vlog style one alongside doing May vlogs, I would get very, very confused very quickly. So we'll see what happens. How have you been? It feels like it's been a while since, I guess because it's been a couple of months since I actually sat down rather than did the vlog style wrap up. But I've got loads to catch up on, so I hope you've got a cup of tea or a glass of wine or coffee or milkshake. I'm not going to just sit and list drinks that you might have. Let me know what you're drinking in the comments, because it's going to be a long one. I've got so much to share with you. Very exciting. I've just realised as well, as usual, I've left the first thing I need to show you upstairs. So we're going to start with finished stuff. And my first finished thing is my hexagon cardigan, which you saw last time. I also made a whole video about seeing how long it would take me. It was how much could I crochet in 24 hours. I'll link that video in the description. And that was the project I was working on. That's completely finished now. I am delighted with it. I have shared the finished thing on Instagram, but I don't think I shared it here with all the finished sleeves and everything. So I'm going to go and get it and put it on briefly because it's 25 degrees here today. It is about 8:30 in the morning. Well, coming up for 9. So it's not too bad at the moment. So if I put it on now, I should survive. Now this is going to be, let's kneel up here. See if I can show you. Also, I'm wearing a sack of a dress. It's just really comfy, but it does look like a sack on me. Yeah, so look, I did the sleeves. Where's my notes? So what I did with the sleeves is you can make them as long as you want. So I think, and the instructions I used were the YouTube tutorial by Craft and a Cuppa. And she tells you how to finish off the sleeves if you want to bring it into a cuff. So I kind of used that a bit, but I was using 2 balls of Katia Infinity, and I've used every last bit of this yarn bar 5 grams. Where's the little bit that I had left? That is all I had left of those 2 balls. I was delighted with that. I was absolutely thrilled with that. 5 grams is all that's left from making this. Talk about good use of yarn. And what I did was I just did until it hit about the elbow, and then I cinched it in, so it kind of sits as a puffy sleeve. And I used a 3mm hook, the Katia Infinity yarn, which is a sport weight yarn. I made size medium. I'll link the video underneath. Everything I talk about is linked underneath. I added about 10 centimetres to the length, which was about 11 rows, and about 7 rows to the sleeves before I cinched it in. So I'm just reading my notes. I said, so I added about 5.5 centimetres to the sleeves, which is 7 rounds, and did the first 3 rounds of the cuff instructions until I had 36 stitches, and then I did the first DC round, and then I did the rib before fastening off. And then I added 1 final finishing round all around the cardigan using the tutorial, but I did half double crochets instead of full double crochets. And that worked out well, because if I'd done full double crochets, I think I would have run out of yarn. So I am so delighted with this. I'm definitely going to wear it. It's cotton. So like I say, look, can you see what a sack this dress is? Yeah, so it comes to here. It's lovely with jeans and a vest. Oh, I just love it. Oops, knocking things over. Yeah, so love it as I do though. I'm not wearing it. It's far too warm today, but that's how it looks. I'll put one of the pictures up as well that I put on. That actually, I should have just done that to begin with, shouldn't I? The picture that I took for Instagram. That would have been easier than all that faffing about. So yeah, I loved it. I would definitely make another one. My mum, who has just taught herself to crochet, I feel terrible. She asked me for years and years, will you teach me to crochet? Yeah, I said, never got round to it. She taught herself from YouTube in the end. I was just like, oh no, I have a whole video about crochet and knitting and I can't even teach my mum to crochet. Anyway, she's taught herself and now she wants to have a go at that. So I will help her with that. I promise, Mum. I promise I will help you get started with the hexie cardigan. My next finished object is my Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo socks. This is a pattern by lovely Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I love the Bakery Bears channel. Oh, I've got a bit of an end sticking out the wrong side there. Never mind. I'll weave that back through soon. So last time I had one of these finished and now I have two. So the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo socks is based on Cinderella and the pattern is butterflies. They're called papillons in the pattern and the beautiful yarn is Exmouth Beach by Eldenwood Craft. If you've just heard a little scream then, don't worry, no one's being murdered. There is a nursery, just opposite and along a bit. Well, it's like a village hall, but it's a nursery in the mornings and they're just welcoming all the kids. So there's lots of screaming and shouting as they arrive. Exmouth Beach colourway by Emma at Eldenwood Craft. I cast these on when I was in Exmouth, only metres from the beach in February. We had a lovely time. I made a vlog about it for my other channel, which I'll link underneath in case you're interested for a visit to Devon. I got a picture when I was on the beach of this yarn and it couldn't be more perfect. It is just the best sort of match to the inspiration. The only thing I changed with the pattern was I did a garter edge to the heel. Everything else is exactly as is. I did make them about 5 rows too long, but they still fit fine. I would say I'll give them to Lilia, my eldest daughter, because she's got bigger feet than me, but she won't want them because they're not pink. She's in her pink era at the moment. Yeah, anything else to say? It was a sock set, the Exmouth Beach. So you've got the main colour and this, and I've got loads left. Well, not loads. So I had 50 grams of the main colour, so I've only got a little bit left. So that'll go into something scrappy. And I've got a lot left of the green, so that'll be really good for future toes and heels and so on. So I'm really pleased with those. And I made the smallest size. I always knit my socks 2.25mm, DPNs 56 stitches. I am thinking of trying a few pairs on 2mm needles. I'm quite a loose knitter and I like my socks quite snug. So I keep saying it, I should just do it, shouldn't I? Oh, not used to having this many finished objects to show you. I finished my second Skein Wonder Cowl light. It's a crochet pattern by Fibre and Fox. And as it says in the title, it uses one skein of beautiful yarn. So this is the original yarn that I dyed when I went up last year to Lay Family Yarn to dye yarn with them. And I dyed the Wonderland Walk colourway. This is the original skein that I dyed, the first one. That I had to take home with me. It's a fingering weight. I did weigh, but I finished a bit early, so I do have a little bit left. But that's fine, because it'd be nice to have that to put in a scrappy project as my original one. So I've only got about 6 grams left, I think, just because I miscalculated. And this gorgeous orange, I don't know what it is. When I went to the Lay Family Yarn retreat in November, Brendy, who I've sat next to for a while, was making the most gorgeous shawl with her Wonderland Walk yarn. And she was striping in these wonderful colours. And I just loved the orange. And she gave me the orange that she had left over So I've put it as a little accent at the beginning and end. It's a really simple pattern. You start with a rib, you end with a rib, and then it's got the, what's it called, the pebble, no, mini bean stitch is what it uses. Yeah, lovely. I made a pink one of these as well. Probably gonna mess up my hair now. We don't prep. Well, probably more my eyebrows. That's what usually happens, is I come to edit and I notice my eyebrows are like, so yeah, you can see I made this a little bit narrower than my first one because I like a cowl to be quite snug. Oh, isn't that like, imagine that with my chunky coat on, maybe I can make a matching hat. Oh, isn't that amazing? And if I get cold, you know, do you know when it's cold and your nose is cold and you can just do that? I love a cowl for that. It will cover all this bit. Oh, I'm dreaming of winter already. Oh, I do not like this summer weather. Oh, I love it. So that is the one Skein Wonder Cowl light for fingering weight yarn. She does do the same pattern for DK weight yarn, I think. Highly recommend it. Really nice for those single skeins. It really shows off a single skein of hand dyed yarn. Really easy, really relaxing to make. And those are my finished things, I think. I don't think, I'll probably find something later, won't I, where I go, oh yeah. But I think that's it for my finished things. So I've got a ton of works in progress to talk to you about. Before I do that though, I just want to mention serious readers, my lovely serious readers who are sponsoring this video. My light is just out of sight here, but this is what it looks like. Serious Readers are a UK based company and they hand build all of their lights in their factory there. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I'll do a little overlay so you can see what I'm talking about rather than just trying to drag it into the screen. So Serious Readers have been one of my longest term sponsors and I'm so happy to work with them. I love my Serious light, as you know, and I use it every single day. It's been really handy this past few weeks as I've been working on my Skein Wonder Cowl. The yarn is really variegated and quite dark, so having that light to work under is so important. I've also been doing a lot of cross stitching, which I'm about to show you. My temperature cross stitch I have been making lots of progress on. And that, it's just, I use it every time I'm cross stitching, I'm using the light, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, any time of day, I'm using the light. You can really easily angle it and adjust it to get it exactly where you want it to use it. And it has really easily adjustable brightness and beam width as well. I always have it on the lowest of both those settings, but Dan quite regularly steals my light. It's really easy to move around because I've got the lightweight base. You can get a heavier weight base, but I knew that we'd be moving it about and using it in different places. So Dan, my husband, will often steal it to do Lego, and he'll always have it on the brightest and widest beam because he's working on quite a large service trying to find, I don't know, nerdy bits of Lego and things. The light these things produce is so crisp, so clean. It's like sitting in front of a window by the sea or something. It's just perfect. In fact, it's better than that because you can concentrate it exactly where you need it. And that's because all Serious lights use daylight wavelength technology, which replicates as closely as technically possible the daylight spectrum. And like I say, it has been so useful, particularly this month with my cross stitch and that darker project. And I've got another darker project that I'm going to be talking about as well. So the light's going to come into its own once more this month. And I have a code for you. It is Ali, my name, ALI in capital letters. That will get you £150 off all of the high definition HD lights from Serious Lights. I will put a link in the description box for you. It will also get you free UK delivery. The code works internationally for the money off, but the free delivery is only in the UK. So thank you to Serious Lights as ever for sponsoring this video and all of my crafting. Right, stuff I'm working on. I've got something new to show you. It's not new, it's really old. I started this project in 2023 for the Strictly sock along in 2023, and I've just picked it up again now, you know, like 1.5 years later. This is a gorgeous bag by Sarah Jo Makes, Charleston, and it's yellow. I love this bag so much. It's got a little tag there. Has she got a little tag on it? No, she hasn't. Don't know if she's got I don't think she's got a little business card. No. Sarah Jo Makes on Etsy and Instagram. I will link it underneath. And in here, I have the chicken scratch socks by Lauren Colby, who is Backwood Knits Company. Backwoods Knits Co. I wish I hadn't left them so long. So I must have cast these on in September 2023. And the yarn I'm using, it glows. Look at this. It's called Strictly Ballroom. It's by Sherry Iris. It was a Strictly colourway. Have I got the ball band? Yes. Here. Yeah, it was by Sherry Iris. It was a Strictly colourway back in 2023. There we go. So it's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. The colour. Honestly, it looks like it's lighting up somehow. It's such a soft colour, but it also looks like it's glowing. I love it. It's beautiful. And I'm making the chicken scratch socks, which is a lovely pattern gift. For some reason, I just balled the ball up into one ball. So usually I knit my socks concurrently. I knit a bit on one and a bit on the other and so on. But I'm just going to have to do them one at a time. But I don't think I'm going to get second sock syndrome with this because I'm just enjoying it so much. So I'm just on the gusset decreases for this first sock. I'm doing them quite short because that's how I like them. And I'm doing it exactly as per the pattern. I haven't done my usual little favourite garter edge. I'm just doing it as per the pattern. So it's a knit 3, purl 2 rib, and it flows beautifully into the chicken scratch pattern. Can you see? It's like little chicken scratches, chicken feet. It's just such a lovely texture, and it couldn't work better with this yarn. So pleased with it. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a lovely project and it's so interesting. It's only a 4-row pattern repeat, and it's a technique that I've never used before, and it looks like cabling and really difficult, but it's not. It's really easy. And I love something that looks clever that isn't. Yeah, absolutely loving this project. The notes are in my 2024 project book, even though it's technically a 2025 project. So let's have a look and see if there's anything else I need to tell you. 2.25mm DPNs. Oh, so the sizing in this is slightly different. So the small size is 60 stitches. So I'm working the 60 stitches. I worked 15 rounds of the rib and then 4 repeats of the pattern before I started the heel because I'm making them quite short. What have I written here? You're supposed to end on a row 3 of the pattern repeat, but I got a bit confused and did an extra round, so I ended on a row 4. And then just kept going with the heel flap, and it doesn't seem to have caused any problems. Yeah, so the rest are just boring notes about how many I picked up on the heel. So I know for sock number 2, which I'm sure will still end up being slightly different, because if I do it like that, I can never get them exactly right. Oh, it's also in a plastic bag because at this time of year, when the windows are open, I get really worried about bugs and moths and things. So all of my yarn that lives about the living room or about anywhere is in a plastic bag, sealed, as well as being in my project bag. So that's the chicken scratch socks. Next I want to show you that I've been working on my temperature cross stitch. So the bag I'm using for this is by Ness Crafts on Etsy. So I've got everything in here that I need. I love these types of bags. They're just so clever. It fits a big, big hoop in, but I then went even bigger. So now my cross stitch doesn't fit inside it, but that's fine. And I also, I was on Instagram and I saw Oh, who was it? Hang on a minute. I know exactly who it is. I can see her in my mind's eye. Sharon. It was Sharon. Hang on. Was it Sharon? Yes, right. It was Sharon's Crafty Creations. Okay. So she has really got into cross stitch recently. And she posted something on her Instagram. Oh, you're going to be able to see that with the reflection. Can you see that? I was like, what's she got there? What's that? What's that holding? Her fluffy bits of Ada. So I did a bit of research and I got myself some. These are cable ties. They're magnetic cable ties and they only came in a pack of about 20. So I've also tidied up my entire cable area for phone charging as well with all the non-pretty colours. And then I saved the pretty colours for my thing. And it just means that I don't have all of this stuff flapping about. I haven't actually cross-stitched with this in situ yet. So I don't know, I might rework it a bit. But look at that. I just got them on Amazon. I know evil Amazon. I will link where I got them from underneath. But this is my temperature cross stitch. It is a, oh, and my needle minder is from Hoops and Crosses. Lindsay, lovely Lindsay at Hoops and Crosses. And my hoop thing, my rectangle hoop is a Nurge hoop, which I got from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It was just a better shape and size for, look, I need to deal with this with my magnetic thing as well. So I am up to, so you do a symbol each day of the year, and I am up to my birthday. Is that right? Top right. Yeah, I'm up to my birthday, the 19th of April. So I've got to catch up from then. I've got about 11 days to catch up on. I've got a little notebook somewhere where I write down the temperature every day. So we're just starting, look, we're starting to get into interesting colours here as it gets a bit hotter. We had a few warmer days. So the warmer it gets, it goes from yellow into orange into red. And then the colder colours go down to, you know, greens and blues, and then really, really light blues and beige towards the coldest. So you can see how it's really beginning to build a picture of the temperatures. And I am just loving this. I save up a couple of weeks, and then I just sit and I listen to my audiobook and I work on my cross stitch underneath my light, and I have a grand old time. I've made a couple of mistakes, but I think only I would notice. And yeah, I am adoring this project. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's by Climbing Goat Designs. She does several different types of temperature cross stitches for the year, so it's well worth checking that out. And I am doing the temperatures of where I live rather than where I am. So throughout the year, it's going to form a picture of the temperatures right here at my home. And I previously listed under my last video, I think, the DMC colours that I'm using, but I will hold them up for you again so you can see. I've written the DMC, it's a bit messy, I've written the DMC colours and then the temperature they represent. So some of them represent just one temperature and some of them represent a range of temperatures. So for example, I've got -1 and below, and then towards the top I've got 30 degrees and above, and then 35 degrees and above. I'll do that in case you want to pause it. So if it gets super hot, we're going to hit these colours. So let's hope we never use these colours. But we're getting into these warmer colours now, these oranges. And actually, as a project, it's really helping me deal with my summer seasonal affective disorder, because you can only work so many yellow symbols before you get a bit bored, and then it suddenly gets hotter. Like tomorrow's going to be 28 degrees, which I'm not happy about at all. But it does mean we're going to get to use this really nice red colour up here, and I am a bit fed up with the yellows, if I'm honest. So it's going to be nice to use a red. And today's going to be 25, so we've got a bit of pink. We haven't done any pink so far, so you know, it kind of gives a bit of a positive spin on the temperatures in that, oh, I get to use another colour. I can highly recommend it if you suffer with similar things. And yeah, these things, they're great. So that's me cross stitch. What else have we got? Oh, right, this next project is not for the faint-hearted. So I am assembling my weekender blanket. If you have not been here before, last year I had the Green Lambkin Yarn Blanket Club. I've got it again this year. I'll show you that in a minute. Where you get 4 20-gram DK minis every month throughout the year, so that you've got enough to make a really nice blanket. Last year the theme was secret treasure box. So it was like loads and loads of different colours, jewel tones, sparkling. Mine's not the sparkly version, I went for non-sparkle. And I'm making a version of the Weekender blanket by Sandra at Cherry Heart, which looks like this. In her version, it's join as you go. I decided in my wisdom that I would make all of the hexagons and then join them at the end of the year. I'm now realising the scale of the task that I have given myself. So I am sewing them together with mattress stitch. I think that's what it's called. It kind of zips it together invisibly. I decided instead of doing a random placement that I was going to do, I worked out where I wanted them all and I've grouped them in colours. So I'm kind of going to get a watercolour kind of wash of colours. So I've taken a photo of my placement and I'm now working on sewing them together. So what I have to do is I sew each hexagon, couldn't think of the word then, I was going to say square, to each other in a strip, and then I sew the strips together. And this is why it's not for the faint-hearted. This is just 4 strips sewn together. Look at those ends I'm going to have to weave in. If ends make you nervous, this is not the project for you. Fortunately, I love the mindless weaving in of ends, but I mean, this is going to be a massive amount of weaving in. I think actually I might, once I've done this strip and attached it, and I'll have five strips, I will maybe spend a bit of time weaving in those ends before I move on to the next lot. But I have to admit, it's going to have a whole border on it, which I still haven't decided on. I talked about this extensively in my last episode, but I am loving this. I am loving it. I have to admit, the process of sewing them together is very satisfying. I set it out generally on the table, put a podcast on and work at the table. I spent a lovely happy time yesterday watching Eva at Coco and Flora and her frogs whilst I was sewing bits of these together. Oh, just love it. It's going to be amazing when it's finished, but oh my goodness, what a task I have set myself. Yeah, so that's the Green Lambkin Yarn Blanket Club for 2024. If I've got a decent picture, I'll show you how it looks laid out. I do have a picture. It's not the best picture, but it's the one I'm working to remember how I want it laid out. So I'll put that on the screen so you can see kind of an idea of the layout. And then it does have a border, like I say, but I haven't chosen yet. I'm using an acrylic yarn to sew them together, even though the yarn itself is not acrylic, it's natural. And I do regret that choice, because when it comes to blocking, it blocks in a different way. I can heat block it, it's fine. It will be fine, but this yarn is splitty and horrible. So I do regret my decision, but I'm in it now. In for a penny, in for a pound, as Stephen Mulhern says. Meanwhile, I've got my 2025 blanket project on the go, and learning a little bit from last year, this is going to be a slightly easier thing. I am again going to assemble it at the end of the year, but I'm going to make life a little bit easier on myself. So first of all, I am making whole squares with each colour. So instead of several motifs with each colour, I'm making one whole square. This is going to be a version of the Dolphin Blue blanket, which is by, I'll just get my little crafty notebook, the Crochet Swirl, who is Emma. I'm using a 3.25mm hook for this with the DK mini skeins. And this year the theme is Blooming Lovely. It's all based on flowers. So I'm cutting out each month. So January was Hellebore and February was Narcissus. So she gives a little bit of information and a picture. And then March was Pansies. So this is what it looks like when it arrives in its box, all wrapped in tissue paper. It's lovely. And then I cut it up and stick it in here. So that's what I'm doing there. And then here's my little stack of granny squares. And aren't they looking lovely? This is all going to be joined with, they're all going to have an extra round with the same colour. And then I shall join them either with mattress stitch or I will single crochet join them. I haven't decided yet. But what I'm doing is weaving in all of my ends as I go, and I'm going to block these as I go as well, so I don't have to block them all at the end of the year. Yeah, so they are looking absolutely lovely. I love just a nice granny square to show off the yarn. This is from the Narcissus one. I adore this. I adore that. Oh, and this one. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Oh my word. Absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So that is 2025 so far. I should get the April ones through the door any day soon, which will be exciting. Yeah, don't think there's anything else to say about that other than I am loving that club. Really, really loving it. Okay, this next project. Right, let's just get it out and talk about it. First of all, let's distract ourselves with how gorgeous the bag is. This is from lovely Linda Evans. I think she does sell her bags still. I will link her underneath. I've got some lovely badges on here. Knit Happens. I've got my little sheep in a yarn basket. It says home. It's got thistles. I love this bag. It's really roomy as well. And in here, I have got a DK weight cardigan. I am making the what am I making? The April cardigan. It is the 30th of April as I'm filming. And April is my birthday month, so you think I would remember that. Yeah, the April cardigan, which is my first ever petite knit pattern. And I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm making it with, again, my Wonderland Walk yarn, but in DK. So I didn't dye this one myself. This was dyed by Nick. Oh, I love it so much. This is it in the skein. This is what it looks like in the skein. This is their lovely label. They're based in Ironbridge, hence the bridge above their logo. Yeah, so this is the DK version. And it's beautiful, if I do say so myself. And I'm doing really well, but I get so nervous making garments, knitted garments, and I tend to, you know, I question so much about, well, what do I need to do with the yarn here? What do I do about the sleeves? And I'm thinking ahead all the time, and then I just get overwhelmed. So I have reason now to finish this. This month. Am I going to finish it this month? But I need to pull my finger out and get stuck into it. So let's have a little think. So basically I've just got to get the length. There we go, words. So we're here at the moment. I do get a bit overexcited and tend to finish things too early. So I need a good couple more inches, well, about 3 more inches in the length. And then we've got to think about the sleeves. So it's going to have full length sleeves, although I do quite like it, just like this. And then it's got the button band that goes all the way round. So those are, you know, each one of those processes is relatively easy. The hardest, oh, I've got all tangled. The hardest bit will be just picking up the stitches for the sleeves, won't it? That'll be the hardest bit. And that's not particularly hard. So I really need to get this sorted. I want to be able to wear it by the first weekend in June, because I'm going somewhere. I'll let you guess. Yeah, so is there anything I want to say about that? Not really, other than my knitting mojo that was missing in action is now back. So I feel like I need to harness that knitting mojo into finishing my cardigan. because it's ridiculous how long it takes me sometimes to knit garments, because I really want to knit more garments, and I know I can, but for some reason they just scare the bejesus out of me. Also, I distracted myself. Hang on. I had to just grab a bit from over there. I distracted myself and cast on another project, which I'm actually not going to show you because I haven't made much progress. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. It's a bit of an experiment. It's a bit of an ugly jumper, but it's an experiment so I can tell A, how certain yarn knit up, and B, because I want to make a certain project with a certain yarn, and I wanted to get an idea of how much yarn I'd use because I want to stripe it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to show it to you yet, but I do want to show you the bag it's living in because Dan got me this for my birthday. It's the Emotional Support Project bag. He got me the linen, the sort of natural finish. It's by the Pigeon's Nest. She sells these, and she does do this in other colours now with like bright colours and things, and I was like, oh, wish I'd seen those before my birthday. I would have asked for a bright one. But I really love this. Emotional Support Project makes me laugh so much. I just like the idea of just having that beside me. Yeah. Oh, this is my Emotional Support Project. So I'll link that underneath if she's got any in her. I'll just link her shop. Because Bex at the Pigeon's Nest is the designer behind Froggo. And speaking of Froggo, he's not going to make an appearance in today's episode. He's having an artistic strop over there and refuses to be seen because I haven't made him his April outfit. So he refuses to be seen until I've done that. I've bought the pattern. It's a brilliant one. It's his gardening outfit. But I haven't made it yet, so he's having a diva strop. So hopefully he'll show his face throughout May vlogs if you're watching those. Yeah, so I'm making a pledge to progress on my April cardigan. A project progress pledge. I hereby pledge to make progress on my April cardigan in the month of May. I think that's it for my works in progress. I did want to mention something very exciting. The Dodgy Bag MAL is back. In fact, at the time of filming, it starts tomorrow. It's going to run from the 1st of May until the 7th of June. This is the only make-along I'm running this year because I just couldn't not. I run it with Claudia at Crochet Luna. And the idea of the make-along is we make bags. We make dodgy bags. Whenever I make a sewn bag, I call it a dodgy bag because they are dodgy. Never really been taught how to sew. I've taught myself. There were all kinds of mistakes and questionable techniques and everything. I've got a few tutorials on this channel about making bags, again, with my questionable techniques. But it's really just about saying, yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to make a bag and I'm going to use it, I'm going to gift it, and I'm going to love it. And I'm not going to worry about perfection. So we do that every year. I think this is year 5 or 6. I've opened a Ravelry thread. There is a hashtag which is Dodgy Bag MAL 25. Claudia will draw a winner from Instagram. I will draw a winner from the Ravelry group. You go in there for chat, sharing finished things. You don't need to finish, you just need to participate. I will draw a winner from there at the end of the make along. Hashtags are a bit weird on Instagram now, aren't they? They don't work in the same way they used to, but Claudia is going to work all that out and get a winner from Instagram. I have my dodgy bag pins. Let me go and get one. I've actually been putting these on their backing cards. I make all of my backing cards myself out of cardboard that can be just put in the recycling. So this is a dodgy bag pin. It's hard enamel. Progress, not perfection. There we go. And these are in my Etsy shop. So if you want to proudly display one on your finished dodgy bag, you can. And obviously any winners will get one of those in their prize as well. Yeah, so that's the Dodgy Bag MAL. Let me know if you're going to be joining in. The thread is up, ready for chatting. I put that up yesterday or the day before. I have lots of plans for bags. So first of all, it's a lot of rummaging about on the floor in this episode, isn't there? So first of all, I have a sort of stack of things in progress that I've never finished or I'm reworking. So I made this pouch with this gorgeous Alice fabric, but it's a bit rubbish, like they're quite like the The opening is rubbish, it's too small. I really love the lining as well. I'm really annoyed with myself. So I need to either decide whether I'm just going to use it anyway, don't know, or try to rework it a bit so that the opening makes a bit more sense. I don't know what to do because I like it. It's just that tiny opening. My battery's just run out. Let me just change it round. There you go. Hopefully that's still roughly the same angle. I've also got some bags here that I've cut out and I just need to finish them. And I just haven't got around to it. So I've got this one here is all ready just to have its drawstring. So it's just using up some old fabric that I've got. I think this was old upholstery fabric. I've done the drawstring casings. Literally just got to sew it together. I think part of the problem is, I need to get my sewing machine taken for a little bit of a service. And I keep putting that off because I know it's going to be expensive, and also I'm not quite sure where to take it. And also, I don't have a dedicated crafting space, so it will have to come out and live on the table, and I just have to be prepared for getting that ready, and maybe trying to set up an area that I don't have to clear up for about a week. You know, I could have it just to one side on the table. I've got another bag here. One of the first bags I ever made, I never used because it just wasn't a style of bag I made. So I've actually cut it up and I'm going to refashion it into a drawstring bag so that I do use it. But this is fabric from IKEA. They no longer do this type of fabric anymore, but they used to do really lovely kind of sturdy cotton fabric. And I had loads of this. Yeah, so I'm going to turn that into a drawstring bag. There's the drawstrings. And then I've got another one here that's like a lobster bag. Just one of my ones that I've made for my tutorials. You can't really see because it's sitting inside the lining there. This is another one I've refashioned. It was one with handles. There you go. It's got denim at the bottom, upcycled denim. Yeah, it had handles. One long handle, and I just never used it. So what I've done is I've cut that one long handle up, and I'm going to make it with two little handles, and it can be either a project bag or a little shopping bag. So I've got those all to sort of finish, and then I've got plans for patchwork bags. I want to make a gift for someone. I've got some fabric here, but I'm not going to show you it because I think it would give away who it's for, and I want it to be a surprise. Can I show you part of it? Oh, hang on a minute. What part could I show that wasn't going to give it away? There you go. There's a little hint. Yeah, so I've got this fabric and I've got some plans to make a gift for somebody. Yeah. So I bought a few things to help me with that because I want to make some patchwork bags because I've got a lot of fabric where I've just got little bits and bobs, and I think it'd be really nice to maybe start thinking about making a patchwork bag. So I ordered from the Quilted Bear a little 2-inch quilting template thing. And then on your birthday here in England, you get a £5 voucher for Hobbycraft if you're a member of their rewards club. So I went and used my £5 voucher and I got myself some little grips to put on my thing so it won't slide about. You just stick them on and you can put it on your self-adhesive grips prevent slippage when fitted to quilt rules and templates. So I got myself one of those thinking that would be handy, and I got myself a proper quilter's pencil for marking where I want to cut, because I'm probably gonna mark where I want and then cut it with scissors. And this will be on an area of the fabric which won't be seen. I've also seen that you can get the fabric, the grid fusible interfacing. Someone on the Dodgy Bag general chatter thread on the Ravelry thread had been saying that she's got it's like fusible interfacing, but it's got a grid on it. And what you do is you do all your placements of your 2-inch bits of fabric and you iron it all on, and then you kind of fold it and sew it so that you hide the what do you call it, the rough seam, the raw edges. That's it. But you sew in the raw edges. That looked quite interesting as well. Yeah, so that's my intention for the Dodgy Bag MAL, is to have a little go at patchwork bag sewing. So let me know if you're joining in. The link for the Ravelry thread will be underneath. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that this year. I also have some patterns. Oh, hang on, before I move on, talking about sewing, this isn't anything to do with dodgy bags, but while I've got my sewing machine out, I've got a couple of projects that I want to do. So I have had, for about 12 years, very carefully folded and put away, a cross stitch that my sister did for Dan and I for our 10-year wedding anniversary, and I think we've been married 22 years this year. Because I never knew how to deal with it. It's so beautiful. I want to do it justice. My sister's an excellent cross stitcher. So the poem in the middle, which hopefully you can see, we had read as a reading at our wedding. It is a quote from Captain Corelli's Mandolin, and yeah, it's like, and funnily enough, she's done it as a sampler, and this was 12 years ago, before we even considered the fact that we'd have chickens, but here they are. Nonetheless, we have chickens on there. I love it, and toadstools. I love my toadstools. Yeah, so I never quite knew what to do with it. And I thought, should I frame it? And then I thought I could turn it into a cushion, but that felt like, oh no, you know, that feels too good for a cushion. Anyway, we got talking and it came up for another reason, which I'll show you in a minute. And she said, well, I always intended it to be a cushion. So, oh, okay. So now I just need to get a nice fabric, and I would quite like to turn this into a cushion as well. I'll have to make my own cushion pad to make sure it's exactly the right size. But yeah, that is a project I'd like to get done this year. We're getting new sofas, hopefully, at some point this year. So it would look amazing on the new sofas. And it was because of something else that we ended up talking about this. I was having a big clear out of things. And I found she had framed for us a few years ago, just in a very basic frame, a Christmas cross stitch. She did it for the girls. And we put it up at Christmas. And then we didn't. And I found it and I was like, now, I'm not going to change this out on the wall at Christmas. I don't have anywhere that I can do that. But I want to get it out every Christmas. So I had messaged her and said, oh, do you remember this? And I think I was asking her if it was possible to give it a wash, getting her advice. Because I want to turn this into a Christmas cushion so that I can get it out every year and have a Christmas cross-stitch cushion. It'll be a bit of an unusual shape, but I don't mind that. So it's a kind of ABC of Christmas. A is for angel, B is for bells, and so on. And it just seems a shame to not have this out on display as a Christmas thing. So whilst, again, I've got my sewing machine out, I'd like to turn this into a cushion. Now I do have some Christmas fabric, which might work well. So that might be something I work on as well, even though they're not really dodgy bags. We'll call them dodgy cushions. Okay, I have some pattern things to mention. I bought a pattern and I was given a pattern. So, and I'll put pictures up here of what they look like. So first of all, I bought the Boo Ball socks by my friend Nancy, who is Knit Sip Happy. I think this is the third year she's done a pattern to raise money for the Canadian breast cancer research charity. So in the first, for a certain amount of dates after they're released, she raises money and all the proceeds go to that charity. I think she raised about $3,000 or something this year, which is incredible. So it's the Boo Ball socks, and I just love them. So I bought them, hopefully I bought them within the right time period to help raise money. But if not, I just really like the socks anyway. So I bought the Boo Ball socks. And I think there's, like I say, 3 now in the collection. So I will... I need to stop saying I'll link it in the description, because I said, you know that. Then I was given a copy of the Candy Socks by Tanya Miller. These are a crochet pair of socks for fingering weight yarn. They're lovely ankle socks. They've got a lovely detail just around the ankle as well. I really, really like these. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Tanya. That was such a lovely thing for you to do, to send me the copy of that. So you will see what those look like on the screen. They're really pretty. I'd really like to make those. And thirdly, just to do with patterns, I wanted to mention that many, many moons ago, when I first came up with my Little Drop of Wonderful pattern, which is free now on Ravelry. It's not free on my Etsy. I don't know if I should just take it off Etsy, because I don't know how to make it free on Etsy, but it's free on Ravelry. It's my Little Drop of Wonderful pattern. lovely Amy at Noble Character Crafts, who I'm sure you've heard of, she has a lovely, lovely podcast, wrote a poem to go with it, and it is fantastic. And I said it, she said, you know, you can use it, you know, so people, if they want to, they can print it out if they're gifting it. Because the idea of the Little Drop of Wonderful, I don't have one with me or in the room, is that you can make them and use them as like a stress thing. I'm going to go and get one. Right. Here's a Little Drop of Wonderful. I've made this just out of a random cotton. You can make them in any weight yarn, but just make sure that your gauge is quite tight. And the idea is you can make them and put safety eyes on, but that would change how you can use them. If they don't have safety eyes on, you can easily throw them at things and it's not going to break anything. So the idea is you can squeeze them and, or you can be really angry and be like, I've had enough, and just chuck it across the room, which I won't do right now because I want to show you it. So this is the Little Drop of Wonderful. It does start at the top with a very narrow sort of 2 or 3 stitches, but after you get past the first 2 rows, you're sailing. But I really wanted a good pointy droplet type shape. I have been messing about a bit trying to modify a few things so you can do different versions and so on. I'd also quite like him to have some outfits eventually. We will see. But this is Little Drop of Wonderful. So the poem that Amy wrote, I have finally, after 4 years, actually put on the pattern project page. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. So you can copy and paste this from the project page now, and if you're giving it as a gift, you can print it out and you know, include it with the gift. I would like also to do a nice version, like a printable, which I can link to and you can just print. It's taken me 4 years to even get this onto the project page, so let's just see how long it takes me then to do a printable. So here's the poem by lovely Amy. I'm a little drop of wonderful, I'm here to help you out when you're feeling frustrated and need to give a shout. Squeeze me, you won't hurt me. I'm soft and very small, I want you to feel better, just throw me at the wall. Or when you have a sad day and are feeling rather blue, give me a hug, I'll dry your tears, I will be here for you. We all have good and bad days, be sure to keep in mind you're a little drop of wonderful and one of a kind. How gorgeous is that? I'm going to write that out in the description box for you as well, maybe even in a pinned comment. Because yeah, that's the idea, is you can't hurt them, they don't mind, they're here for you. They don't mind if you want to throw them out a wall, they don't mind if you want to give them a hug or put them under your pillow. You can make a giant one, I am going to make a giant one. You know, they're here for you to vent your frustrations or just give it a hug. And thank you so much, Amy, for doing that. You are a genius. That is just perfect. Yeah, so now I want to talk about a few little incoming bits. I've had, I'm not talking about everything that I've had coming in since I last spoke to you, but I just wanted to mention a couple of bits. What is it with me and not having things in the room today? My lovely friend Patty, who is a very talented sewer. I've mentioned her before. She made me a rucksack and she made me a top, which I wear all the time, by the way, Patty. I love that top. I love it. I wear it with leggings. It's like my favourite weekend outfit. She sent me a bag for my birthday. It's in the kitchen. Hang on. Now, there are many reasons why I love this bag. Oh, honestly, she's so clever. Look at that. This fabric, it's like a velvet. I know some people have a bit of a thing with velvet, don't they? And I am really weird with fabrics. But velvet, I love. I adore velvet. And this lovely corduroy as well with pockets on the front. And look, she's done, look, made in the country. How gorgeous is that? So I'm going to use this as a shopping bag. This is so I should say all of these are remnants from her clothes making. So this is all remnants left over from things. And this is an upcycled belt. That was an old belt that she's used for the handles. And she said the only thing that isn't upcycled is the lining. And look, it's socks, it's strictly socks. How gorgeous is that? And there's another little thing, look for glimmers. Now, I've heard of this. Jo Mosley, don't know Jo Mosley. She is a paddleboarding podcaster, as in audio podcast. And she's written a book that I have about paddleboarding in the UK. And she spoke about glimmers, which is where you notice the good things, which I guess is what my vlogging channel is all about, isn't it? It's all about focusing on the good things in life, the things that make you happy. Or like here, the little drops of wonderful. Little drops of wonderful. Our little drops of wonderful are the moments in our day when we knit and crochet or craft, and those are our little moments, our little droplets in our day that are the little bits of wonderful that just fall in. They're a bit like glimmers, aren't they? So yeah, so Patty's made me this gorgeous bag. It's got pockets, it's got handy little D-rings, not only D-ring, but a D-ring that's like a carabiner clip. Oh, amazing. I'm actually probably not going to use this as a project bag. I'm going to use it as a handbag because it's perfect. I can clip my keys to that, not lose them like I normally do. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Patty. Lovely birthday gift. And she sent me a lovely card. Oh, and she also sent me this card, which we had to assemble, but she lost the instructions, so Dan had to help me work it out. But look, you get this, so that's the card, and then you get the bits that you have to pop out, and you have to assemble the chicken with her little chicks under her wing. How? It's so good. So that's just been living there. Oops, oh no, she fell over. It's all right, mummy chicken. She's fine, she's fine. So she also sent me some gorgeous stitch markers, and I wanted to share these with you because they're all from small businesses, and it also makes me think of some other stitch markers actually that I want to share with you. So from Emma Ball, 6 socky stitch markers. Look at those. Oh, look. Aren't they amazing? Ooh. There we are. And then, oh, this is so sweet. From Stitch A Belle, do what you love. Look, it's a froggo. Look, froggo. This one's got a heart, not having a diva strop like you are. Oh. Oh, love. And then this one made me laugh so much. It says, these boots were made for clucking from Spotty Dog Knits. I mean, fabulous. Just fabulous. Look at those boots. Oh my word. Right, so those are those are all the lovely gifts from Patty. Thank you, Patty, and the lovely stitch markers, which, oh, I just love them so much. And my Dominique, lovely Dominique, who is one half of the Wool is the Answer podcast, which I love. I love the Wool is the Answer podcast. They film it live every week, and oh, I love them. And they're yarn dyers. It's Dominique and Marie, and they run retreats and afternoon teas and events throughout the year, and they do mystery boxes and patterns. Oh, I just love them. So creative, so inspiring. And lovely Dominique did me a little countdown birthday advent. She's done this before, and I feel so undeserving of it, and it was just such a treat. Honestly, such a treat. Now, I haven't got all of the bits with me, but I did want to show you the stitch markers and the yarn, because again, small businesses. So this is by Bertie and Poppet. Let me take it out of the thing. Bertie and Poppet by Jill Page, Nottingham, UK. Handmade loveliness using high quality fabrics and beads from around the world. And look, how perfect is this for my temperature weather monitoring obsession. Oh, love, love, love. Oh, they are adorable. And then from the lovely knitting gift shop, a little box and everything for this one, very posh. There was some tea time stitch markers, which are very, very Alice in Wonderland. And you might also see in there that there is a couple of these. I love these type of stitch markers where they got like the little wire and the beads. I love these. So thank you so much, Dominique, for those. And she sent me some yarn as well. And this is partly why I'm doing my experimental jumper that I've been very secretive about and haven't shown you, because this is the yarn I want to use. She sent me two skeins of their 4-ply superwash merino. Oh no, hang on, one of them. So one of them's 75-25 superwash merino, and one of them's 80-20 superwash merino natural bamboo. Amazing. Oh, soft. This is the bamboo one, but I can still use them together, and I will. So this hasn't got a colourway on it, but this is, like I say, superwash merino natural bamboo in my favourite colour in the world, which is yellow. And then this one is called Daffodil, and oh my word. So can you imagine these two striped in a really springy, summery garment? There's the band. And I've kept the little clip. Have a fab birthday. So, oh, thank you, Dominique. Absolutely love those. Other incoming things. Oh yeah. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. I've been really waiting to show you this, because now I can actually put it where I want to put it. So I was at our local market in town recently. They do it 2 times a week. And for the first time ever, I saw a crochet stall selling, you know, finished crochet things. And it was amazing, because I love to watch Rel at the Dabbling Hook. I love her. I've watched her for years, and she makes all kinds of amigurumi things, because she goes to craft fairs and she sells them at craft fairs. She's always using like the plush yarn and, you know, the big yarn, and she's making lots of little amigurumi things. And this lady had loads of those types of patterns that I see Rel talking about, so it was brilliant. It was like, oh, just imagine if I could actually go to a Rel's stall, even though she lives a million miles away. So it was really nice. I had a little chat with her, and I had to support her. I don't think she's online anywhere, but she's called Hisna. I'm sure she says she has a YouTube channel. If I can find her anywhere, I will link her underneath. But of course I had to buy a lobster, because I love lobsters. It's a blue lobster, and my car is blue. So this lobster is going to live in my car. Now, I think I'm going to call the lobster Debbie, because my car's number plate begins with DG. And whenever I have to put in my number plate for parking, the way I remember it is Debbie Gibson. So I think the lobster for my car is going to be called Debbie. I love it. She's so soft as well. So that plushy, soft yarn. Oh, I just love it so much. Oh, yeah. So now I've shown you that, she can finally go and live in my car. My little lobster companion. Now I want to talk about advents. So last year I had 3 advents, which were all stunning. In fact, one of them's behind me. This is my Curated Yarn Company advent from last year. Here you go. I made the Getting Ziggy with it, and I could not be happier. I'm so pleased with it. This was her 2024 advent from the Curated Yarn Company. And I had one from Blue Fern Yarns as well. So they've both just announced their themes for this year. So I thought I'd just share them. So Blue Fern Yarns has announced her theme as Weather the Storm. And the mood boards are beautiful. And the Curated Yarn Company, Stevie, has knocked it out the park again with the Chalet Slay Away theme. And I'll put her thing up here. I'll link them both below. I'm not sure if they'll have any left or not. I do remember last year quite a few people did a second release later on in the year. I don't know, but I will link their shops underneath so that you can go and have a look. I also had the green... Oh, sorry, that's next door's dog. Does that mean the postman's here? Can't see anyone. I also had the green lambkin yarn advent, as I have done for about the past 4 or 5 years, and I've done that again this year, and that arrives in instalments throughout the year. And this year her theme is Mrs. Claus's Kitchen. I'm very excited about this, very excited indeed. That's going to be brilliant. And finally, I have been waiting for James at James Makes Yarn to announce his advent, and he finally has, and it's being released. The pre-orders for it are being released on Friday. I'm filming on Wednesday, and he's releasing them Friday evening. I've got a reminder set, so I'm hoping I will have that and I'll be there in time because I really, really want James's. Now, this comes with a bit of a story, and actually, it's quite a serious story, and it could contain some uncomfortable things, but I'm not going to go into great detail, and this is very, very personal to me. I would have bought James's Advent if he had, I don't know, had a theme of 20th century telegraph poles or something. But I would have bought it, honestly. I would have bought it whatever the theme. And he announced that the theme for his Advent was Art Club, which was inspired by his love of his art room at school. And when I saw that, I panicked a little bit. I hadn't realised how much that this is entirely personal to me, but it's a very triggering subject, the art room at school for me, because I did not enjoy secondary school. I did not enjoy secondary school at all. It was a very tough time, but I did love art. Art was my favourite subject, hands down my favourite subject. And so, it was my favourite subject. And when I was 16 in my GCSE year at school, both of my art teachers were arrested for indecent assault, as well as other things, which I won't go into. We had journalists outside the school. We had to have a special assembly about how not to talk to the journalists who were trying to talk to us on the way. And it was quite the news story at the time. And, well, it had an effect. At 16, when that's your favourite subject and you have such trust in these teachers who I admired so much, and I didn't have an art teacher, proper art teacher after that. And I still passed, I still got my GCSE art, but not as much as I got a C, and I often wonder how that would have panned out differently, and what I would have done after school had that not happened. So my memories of my school art room are vivid and conflicting and a little bit triggering. So this is obviously a very personal situation to me, and the fact that James chose this as his theme, it's just completely random that should be the one thing really that would have that effect. But then he started sharing his inspiration images for it, and his inspiration images just feel like how I feel about art and art spaces, and they felt very me, rather than me doing art at school. So really, it's already felt quite healing. Does that sound really weird? I say things like that and I think I sound like such a plonker, but it's, it already feels quite cathartic to be looking at something that's inspired by something that I find so upsetting and triggering, and actually seeing myself in it. So I think this is a good thing, is what I'm trying to say. I bet you didn't think that a discussion about yarn advents was going to go down that route, but all that to say, I will be first in the queue on Friday for James's Advent, and I cannot wait. But yeah, it was an interesting collection of feelings that came up when he announced that. Right, giveaway winners. I ran a giveaway last time for 2 bags, which I shall put on the screen because I don't have them with me. I've got something in my eye. I've got some kind of fluff in my eye. From lovely Bethany at the Wandering Pearl. So there was 2 bags. One is the one with the portrait print, and one is the cat yarn tub. No, it's not called yarn cup. Yarn cup. And I said to share with me in the comments your favourite picture book, and oh my goodness, I've been inundated with comments, and they are the best comments. Go and look in the comment section of my last video, my March wrap up, because the things that people have been talking about in the comments, the books and everything, I've got about 25 tabs open on my laptop now because I just keep having to go and Google books. The best one, who was it that suggested the Grimbly? No, what was it? It was a book, it was a really dark picture book for children about children that meet their maker in really grim ways. What was it called? Oh, I was going to buy myself a copy. Is it the Grimblies or something? I just Googled picture book about small children who die in different ways. Anyway, it's the Gashly Crumb Tinies. Thank you to the person who recommended that. What a dark and interesting picture book. I think I might have to get one for Lilia or something at Christmas, because that was spectacular. But there were so many fantastic books. Interesting, sweet, philosophical, sad, you know, it just such a range of different picture books that people shared. It's such an interesting thing. Anyway, I haven't done it yet, but what I'm going to do is use the random comment picker for that video, and then I'll just keep clicking until, so what I'll do is if the first comment that comes up isn't one that has included that prompt answer, then I'll just click again. So I'll put it on the screen, and then I will put the 2 winners of those books on the screen. So the one with the portrait print, your name is on the screen now, well done. And the one with the cat print, your name is on the screen now, well done. Both those winners send me an email, littledropsofwonderful@gmail.com, with your mailing address, and I will get those sent out to you. Okay, finally, I think that's it. Anyway, I think that's everything. I'll probably think of something afterwards, but thank you very much for watching. I've got a feeling it's going to be a long one. I'm going to go and edit it now. Don't forget, I'm doing May vlogs. So by the time you watch this, I will already be a few days into May vlogs. Every day you'll get a video from me over on my my This Little Wonderful Life channel. So do join me over there if you fancy that kind of thing. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you always for your lovely comments and interaction, your Ko-fi donations, and just sharing in the comments, or even just being there watching. I know a lot of you watch on your television, so you can't, you know, interact and stuff, but the fact that you're just there watching means so much as well. So thank you very much. And I will see you again very, very soon. Until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting. Bye.